think could be the draft here, like those same standard meta bans?
Possibly because we're into the quarterfinals, so most of the teams are probably well acquainted with the meta. And also, it's been a while, right? It's been a while I've got to cast with you. I've been absent a few days, but it's finally nice to be back here with you on the casting desk. So I appreciate you. But anyways, let's see what they're going to be proceeding with. What are your guesses? We are only seeing Fanny so far.
Well, I always say just ban out of Fanny, ban out of Bruno, ban out a Sicilian as a Zushin because these four picks are actually quite annoying. And with that, they might go in for many other picks right there because a lot of other utility picks like Matilda or even our Hylos or Gatotkacha can be the ones making their way into this ban list.
Yes, indeed. We are seeing the Matilda coming up right here again. And I feel like there's a new addition into the meta. It's the Granger. Granger's spammability is like everybody has realized his potential that how you use a Granger is not by being stationary. He doesn't need to farm in the lane and get the highest goal. What he needs to do is rotate the lanes as much as possible, kill everything you see, like the hero, jungle, whatever you see, and gain the stacks on your passive. Because the more stacks you have, the more you can spam. And once you get 300 to 400 stacks, you can just infinitely use your first skill and annoy so much of the out of the enemy that even if you're not winning, you maintain a lot of pressure onto them.
Well, yes, Granger being a really, really great pick. And then again, a Hayabusa being banned out. Big fan because like Hayabusa is a great pick, but then again, if you deny his early game, if you deny the snowball this assassin needs right there, then he kind of falls off. Same goes if you pick up a lot of tanky picks, especially Fredrin making its way into the meta right now. Then Hayabusa, the bomb, which is Hayabusa, kind of gets diffused away. So I think that's not a necessary ban. But then again, let's just see what's on their mind because Suyo has also been banned out.
Perhaps both of the teams are paying respect to the junglers so far, and that's the main reason we're seeing so many jungler bans coming in. Look at that. Astral Genesis have banned out three junglers. I do understand the Joy ban. Yes, the Hayabusa is a little questionable, but it's still a respect worthy ban if you had respect in your opponent. But let's see if the opponent jungler is definitely that level of kind of jungler because I feel a lot of choking down coming in from both ends. But yep, here we go. The Sicilian ban is coming right up, and the Bruno is left out open. Let's see if Astral Genesis takes this hero or is this a bait on the side of Giyattt? Because after picking up the Bruno, many people just go in for a counter.
Well, true. I think it's a kind of a bait because Zushin is also open. Meanwhile, Sicilian has been banned out. So maybe they're just trying to bait out the Zushin pick or even the Bruno pick because a Hylos and a Gatotkacha will be out onto the grab. And also, a lot of other options. Maybe they go in for a chip too. Hilda hasn't been banned out. Okay. Hilda could have been a great pick here, especially if your enemy wants to go in for an assassin jungler, but they're just going in for a Cho. It must be a Cho roam, but isn't it too early to show your cards?
Hmm. It is a flex pick indeed, but like many have said, it is very likely going to be a Chow roam because the XP they don't really have that much of a potential. But at the same time, you are very right. Such a first pick. Are they just playing it safe? Because Chow is good for a few reasons. If they pick up the Bruno, you can kick him out. And if they pick up the Zushin, your Shunpo can immune her lifting from the Lantern Flare. So Chow in general counters both of the heroes in theory. But at the same time, can you really take the risk? I'm looking forward to what Astral Genesis is planning. And there we go. The Granger and the Hylos will be going into the hands of Team Gap. But Zushin, as well as Bruno, they still left out open. So let's see if they're going to be picking because I feel like if they don't pick it up right now, Gap will be banning out in the second phase.
True, and Cho actually being the flex pick right there, but we all know that mostly people go in for a roam Cho nowadays. So it's kind of a safety from the side of Team Gyat. Maybe they thought that there will be no Lolita being picked up, so just really pick up the Granger because Lolita is a perfect counter for our hero right there. And with that, a high loss, just like I mentioned before, the beefy front Team Gyat needs. They just got that hero with a cat.
The beefy front Gap needs. I like that. I like that, Asya. I like your words, the way you play with them, just like they play with their yachts. But anyways, they're taking quite a lot of time, so they're probably considering a lot of options because right now, just like we've discussed, they get Tata, they have Zushin, they have Bruno, a lot of options available, and they're going to be proceeding with Zushin and picking up a Chow. Sorry, Chip. It means Chow is going to the XP lane despite all the odds saying it was not the case.
Well, that's quite surprising. I did mention that they might go in for a chip, but then again, I think Chip is a great pick. He's a ticking time bomb, roaming in across the entire map. He can just pick up left and right on any other person, and you will always be, the unpredictable rotations which this hero can give out. He will always be on your heels. That where is he gonna appear next? I think Chip is a great pick, but then again, they lack kind of sustain, especially if Joe is planning to go for maybe pure damage build. I don't think so. He will be though. But then again, just look at the side of Team Gyat. Akiyar Katutkacha also been picked up by them.
Hmm. Quite interesting choice so far. Just like you've already given out the insight. And picking up such beefy frontliners, just like you mentioned as well, I'm looking forward to what else they're going to be proceeding with. I don't really understand the Vixana ban because, I mean, you know, their team would have used a Vixana much better, but at the same time, okay, they're banning out the Fritrin as well. Looks like Team Astral Genesis have done some bit of homework and really don't want Gyat to have any form of good of a jungler to their hands. Even Yat has banned out the alpha. Looks like both of the teams really don't want any jungling competition.
I mean, if you look at Team Gyat, they do have a very, very aggressive, very great early game, especially considering the Katutkacha and the Hylos. So if they want to go in for an assassin, maybe a Link, which is quite open, then a Link can actually pick off our Zushin diving behind the lanes. But then again, like it's free for them. Even the Hilda is open, but no one actually went in for that. And like I think the side of Team Astral Genesis, they did not want any more tank from the side of Team Gyat. I mean, just imagine if they picked up a Fredrin with a Hylos and a Gadotkacha. It would be kind of a nightmare unless they pick up a Gary.
Yes, indeed, Asuya. And let's see, you're picking up the Xavier. I'm not sure if it's a Gojo Satoru or if it's Beyond the Clouds, but I'm going to be waiting for that. Other than this, let's see what are. I'm really looking forward to what Astro Genesis is cooking because right now they have the Chavi Explainer, and at the same time, you'll also have the chip onto the roaming position. Right now, your team is looking in a little bit of a weird spot because what is your game plan? What do you strategize? Because right now you have three crowd controls. You don't really have any damage yet. You don't really have the read, and who is supposed to be do the flanking properly. So the next two picks will decide the fate, and it's actually the Yin coming into the jungle and Harith into the goal lane. You know, um, I'm gonna be honest. This team does not work well. Like, there's no synergy between them. Like, I'm not sure because see, Chip will use the teleport, then his five people will come there, but Yin will take someone with him, so he'll be all alone. So it's like a counteract strategy. They're countering each other, and with that, Yushin coming into the play as well. A lot of unconventional junglers coming. I'm really not sure because, but so far, Team Gyat they're looking strong, just like their Gyat.
I mean, I think Vices is a great pick, especially because they do have a lot of sustain, a lot of guardians who can actually protect them. I mean, imagine Hylos with the ramp and Gadotkacha with the AOTG. They can zone away people so well, and especially Xavier being a mage who really does not need, especially towards the late game, to close up the distance. He can shoot you from afar. So yeah, it would be really, really hard for them to catch up onto a Xavier, especially when the front lane looks so protective. Same goes for our Granger. He also has that range from his ultimate, the Death Sonata. He can put people to death from quite a distance. And I think Vice's ultimate can be a really, really game changer right there because he provides the vision and AOTG comes in, Hylos follows up, and of course Granger and Xavier will always be there for the damage. So this might be something they might go for because the synergy in this team looks really, really great to me. But then again, just like you mentioned, Astral Genesis, a draft looks really weird to me because Yin really needs to take away the Xavier or even the Granger, but they will be really far behind due to the range advantage.
Exactly, and ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the land of dawn. And it's going to be Team Astral Genesis and Team Giyattt facing off in the quarterfinals of Blazing Championship Season 1 and best of three series. First game, let's see which team can take a scoreboard and lead the series. Anyways, all of the team members are going into their respective lanes and talking about their lane matchup. I feel like Gatot would have a little bit more better time, but okay, Sushin getting poked out a little bit into the mid lane and they're just going to be proceeding back probably. Outdoor playing very aggressive right into the early game while being a damage,
Oh,
not a good option. Gets taken down first blood immediately, but okay,
oh.
there's great stun coming in from Chip as well. Zushin was able to lift them up, but okay, the revitalize comes in handy and they retreat.
And just look at Zeno just taking over level 4 our vices. And then again, that's what we were talking about, Yin actually trying to take away on a Gadokacha. I do not think so. You should be doing that. Granger should be his priority right there because especially he did receive a kill, a support right in the top lane. And with that, I really want to say that Harcho just dived in between so much CC, between so much damage. Even though they know the aggro from the side of Team Gyat is really immense at this point, they really need to play it safe.
Okay, on to the bot lane. There is a skirmish happening. Yin does take Gatot Kacha inside. Not really sure about that, but Gatot Kacha is taken down quite low. He might be able to take him down inside that domain, but Gatot Kacha survives. Yin might not be able to.
Uh,
He goes into the bush, taken down, and Chow is not able to provide anything his team really needs because I feel like a roamer position would have been much better, but right now Team God are much better in leading off the game as well as taking down Disarul. And I just want to mention that, like, right in this Land of Dawn, we are seeing Gojo Satoru, Megatron, uh, Eren from Attack on Titan, as well as Shiryu from Chaos Kid. Like, there are four animes right now.
well, true, and if you ask me, I might sound biased, but I do not think so. Team Gyat will actually have a good time in this game.
Okay. Oh, how I wish I could see what Yin is doing inside. I can't really see what he's doing with the Gyat inside. But anyways, okay, Zushin gets taken down as well. Gatot Kacha comes in with the AOG, and it's not looking good, especially for the team Astral Genesis because they've only got one kill, and it was the Hylos who is their roamer. So it's not really that much of you know any advantage that they have. And Yushin Shin, I really like your name.
And yeah, especially Biasas being a late game hero, and yet just look at him already with 4 kills onto his hand. At this point, even if he goes in for a Sky Piercer, I wouldn't be amazed because he is doing pretty well. He has those dashes, and even when you're weak, you are still able to grab onto so many kills. That itself shows that how the side of Team Astral Genesis might be
Huh?
lagging, especially towards the late game. I mean, just look at them. They have a Xavier, they have a Granger, they have a Vice as 3 of the people who will actually be scaling towards the late game.
Yeah,
And
they have
yet,
a lot
Team
of game.
Astral Genesis are kind of on a losing side right now. And especially if you see Joe, he wasn't even level 4 and still he's trying to, go in with the kills. So they need to have some synergy maybe.
Okay, really great pickoff coming in from Yin
Uh,
and Zushin coming in with the backup as well. Yushin Shin finally gets a shut down as well as high loss. AOG does come in, but there might not be sufficient enough damage. Granger coming into the scene secures the kill onto Zentoria and he'll be retreating as well. Zushin wants a little bit more, but she just doesn't have sufficient enough damage and Yin would be starting up the Lord. Sorry, Turtle.
I mean, just look at the Granger. Granger might be taken down right there because Harith is after him, but he actually flickers away. It's happening off camera. And just look at how low our Granger manages to survive. But then again, it is a turtle for Choso. And then that was kind of a trade off right there. I wasn't expecting it. I was just saying that Team Garrett is doing really well with the early, but then that pickup right there in the top lane was kind of actually really amazing. And just look at our Vices, like I mentioned before, he already has that Sky Piercer, a lot of stacks onto it, and he's going for the Vorex next. So yeah, he has a lot of farm, maybe the highest farm between every member right there. And with that, just invading the buffs right there. What can even Team Astral Genesis do at this point? Because they do not have that burst potential. They do not have enough CC. And Zushin actually really great for the early game, but then again, she really needs some frontliners to tank it up for her, but that is something she's kind of denied from. So Team Astral Genesis need to play safe.
Okay, there's the Hylos with the Glorious pathway coming in. Okay, AOG being dropped down as well. Yin gets taken down by Wanna Scratch My Okay, Gadot going in with the Unbreakable Taunt, wants to take down the Zushin. She uses the Crimson Beacon and she's able to get out of the situation. Okay, Granger coming into the scene as well. He is using the Jet Sonata, doesn't really get anybody, and okay, they will just disengage. Into the bot lane, there is Chao as well as Kacha. They're fighting it off a little bit. Chao might get taken down here because he's getting zoned in quite strong. But okay, I think he should probably retreat.
I mean, and this will be the first turret down in the game, and it will be the side of Team Giyattt giving themselves that macro gameplay, taking away your tower. But then again, whenever Granger in this skin uses his ultimate, I'm like, just look at him, tank Granger. and
Yep.
and Harit actually doing well against a Granger, but then again, the support isn't enough, and Granger really needs to be shut down from the side of Team Astral Genesis because he will be scaling off quite hard. And then if you see, even you see when Chip is there, you really want those unexpected rotations, unpredictable rotations. Especially he can just go towards the orange or the blue path, pick up on the voices, but that's not happening.
Exactly. And okay, AOG coming into the blue buff. Chip already gets taken down. Yin was the next in the chopping block, and he's getting taken down as well. And looks like Team Gyat, they just are showing off the dominance. And a fun fact about the Megatron skin of, okay, I'll tell the fun fact later because looks like the mid turret is in jeopardy and it's gonna get taken down as well. Oh yeah, the fun fact is in the Megatron skin of Granger, if you use your ult, all right, Rose Gold by Granger. That is a good item. Okay, he missed out it completely, but
Oh,
Xavier was the one with the correct snipe and takes Harith down. And okay, the fun fact is, once you use the ult on Megatron skin of Granger, and you do not use any skills, you can be tank until the game ends.
okay, okay. But then again, just look at the equipments right there. Weiss is so far ahead into the gold, 6,000 onto his name, gone in for the War Axe and the Fury Hammer. He might be going in for maybe the Hunter Strike, but then again, let's just see what goes because the damage from Xavier is also pretty good. You just look at him, three of his equipments well done at this point, and Joe not looking in a good position. Like he has bought the Dreadnought armor for our YSS, but then again, he's kind of losing it out to the Gadot Kacha, maybe prioritizing an anti healer, maybe the Radiant could do him better. And just like I mentioned, just look at the engage.
Chip already gets taken down, does not even get to use the shortcut. And I'm not really understanding like the topic at all, but okay, I'm falling for you, will fall for Harith and gets taken down. I mean, he did not build Thunderbelt. You're going to the XP lane as a Chao and you want to build a tank, build up the Thunderbelt so you can get a little bit of damage from the true damage passive, but he did not really go for it. They immediately prioritized defense. So I don't really understand their decision. They could have really pushed Chao into the roaming position, but if you wanted to pick up Chip, it feels like their decision was quite of a last minute and it felt more of a rough decision rather than a planned one, right? Because he's going full tank build.
True, true. Thunderbelt actually a great equipment. Do not miss it out, guys. Especially with Joe. But then again, look at Hylos. No one even knows he's there. Just silently waiting for someone to come by. And I think at this point, 9 minutes into the game, that 6k core laid on the hands of Team Gyart for the macro. Also looking great. 3 turrets into the name. Meanwhile, just look at them. Not even a single turret touched. And so I
Exactly.
think Team Astral Genesis need to wait it out. Their only hope now lies on Harith because he's the only one with the damage potential. Our Zushin, she's the queen of the early game, but the early game has actually gone by. Same goes for Joe, he's going for the tank people. And the rest of the people are actually tanks. So I think the entire game actually lies in the hands of Harith. So the team needs to provide that space which Harith needs.
Okay, into the lot pit. Let's see. Okay, Xavier already takes on Zentoria onto the chip. Wanna scratch my Ye Shin will be able to get the kill. Sorry, and the Lord easily. Chao is not gonna be able to sustain any damage because he doesn't have any magical sustain, and he's gonna be taking a lot of damage from Xavier, Gatot, and Hylas combined. Harit is the only one left. But will he be able to survive? Because I feel like he might be able to get taken down right now. Monster kill for this Yushan Shin. And with that, team Giyattt are just leading on and on and on, and the Lord is marching down into the bot lane as well. They do not have good wave clear. Hardit is the only one with decent wave clear, and they're gonna have a lot of hard time with all these minions coming in.
Very sad. 99% of the time it's the draft. And what do you have which takes to stop the vices? What do you have which can lock down a Xavier? Oh, Yin! Finally, as I spoke, he took Yin into the domain, and Xavier will be taken out, but Yin looks to be in a compromised position, so
Okay, triple kill for Yu Shin, but he gets a shutdown for that overextension. Alright, Hylos a little bit too deep. Who will be able to retreat? Zaman form being used, Crimson Beacon coming in, AOG to retreat, and they will just disengage. But it looks like a very one-sided game for Team Giyattt right now because they're leading very well. And look, it looks like into the next lore pit. I feel like this might be the end because it's just the fact that their draft does not really synergize, at least in my humble opinion. And because of it, I feel like Team Astral Genesis, the first game, they might be giving it out. And hopefully, into the game number 2, which we'll probably see, I see something new coming into their play, or maybe they're just testing the waters and do not want to throw up all their cards just yet. We'll have to see.
I mean, just look at Vices right now. He has gone in for a Malefic gun. That's kind of new to me because I do not see Vices going in for a Malefic gun. But then again, he's on to his last equipment. That's how much farm this guy has. And at this point, Team Astral Genesis kind of boxed in inside their inhibitor. Only 3 of the turrets remaining. Will they be able to actually save it up? Because, just like I mentioned before, Zushin is a great mate for the early, but then again, you really need a front. You need someone who can actually protect her while she tries to build up her stacks onto people, but then she will just be getting one-shotted by people left and right, and the taunts and the stuns coming from Hylos and Gatotkacha, they are a huge, massive barrier which they somehow need to pass across. They need to gap. I mean, at this point, even Chip, like, he's the one who can actually make the game, if you ask me. Might be just try to teleport at some point and just go for the flanks. Set up a flank gang for your entire team. Take down the Granger, take down the YSS, or else it's kind of a wasted pick right now.
Indeed. And with that, the next Lord, which is the Luminous one, will be spawning in a few minutes. Not sorry, few minutes. It is already spawned in, and I don't think Team Astral Genesis is in any position to compete for it. And they will be just be giving out because the damage coming in from Giyattt is a little bit too strong, and they've already finished up the Lord as I speak the sentence. And with that, the Lord will be marching down probably into the top lane because they do not have the inhibitor and the base is a little exposed. Let's see if Team Astral Genesis will be able to defend it because I feel like their lane clear is very weak right now.
I mean, true, the draft looks really weak, really weird. Even so, he really needs to dive behind the lane strike to pick off on someone. Because just look at Xavier, he doesn't even have a Purify, nor does the Granger, because usually whenever the enemy picks up Joe, like the squishies always, it's like auto go pick a Purify. But they're so confident right now, and of course the confidence is provided by the tanks they have. I mean, just look at the immobilized damage at this point coming from Xavier. 14 minutes into the game, they have a lot of gold into their hands in more than almost 10k lead. And this is a heavy lot marching down from the top lane. They couldn't even protect the top inhibitor, was taken down by simple minions. So, clearing out the veins, let's just see how it goes because the Lord is right there, right?
Exactly. And with that, the Lord is already marching down Granger using the Death Sonata as well as the alright. There's a teleportation being used. I am not sure what was that decision, but looks like okay. Even the Gojo Satoru escaped attack on Titan Eren, and look with that, in 14 minutes into the game, Team Giyattt will be securing game number 1.
I mean, towards the end, did you see what happened right there? I mean,
Yep, I did.
there was this guy, I don't know, was it the Harith? Or maybe
Yes.
someone who was really low on their HP and he was trying to go towards the fountain to heal up, but then the portal comes up and then instead of going back for the heal, he just went behind the scenes and was taken down pretty easily. So, it was
Yep.
hilarious.
I can relate. This is why do not give randoms chip ever. happened with me once. I was walking back to the base while I was 1 HP, and then there was a teleportation in front of me. I just dashed straight into it in 5 enemies' place. So yeah, it happens. It was a mistake on their end, but nothing much to say about this game. I feel like the draft was very lacking. It was not. There was no synchronization. I mean, it's not the fact that they lack synergy, more of the fact that their draft just doesn't speak any volumes against a team where you're facing two of the really tanky boys, that is the Hylos and Gatotkacha, as well as the fact that the Granger is coming into play as well, despite his